locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio, the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. A lot of the reasons for going into business is to create personal freedom, but to be able to have personal freedom in a business that's going to give you the life that you want, you've got to have financial empowerment. You have to know how to make your finances work for you instead of you working for your finances. And so today's guest is really an expert in helping us develop these wealth and money mindset strategies. I'm speaking with Millen Livis. She is a financial empowerment mentor, investor, entrepreneur, and author of 2 best-selling books. She's a former Wall Street executive and the creator of the Millen-aire Method. I love that. She was able to become financially independent within 7 years, and now she helps her clients to become financially empowered, to have more wealth, more freedom, and more financial security in their lives. How does she do it? Well, she does it by offering systematized, step-by-step wealth building programs and live wealth retreats that allow her clients to master the wealth mentality and to attain the financial know-how, smart money management, and strategic investing. Millen, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you so much for having me, Ralph. I really appreciate it and look forward to speaking with you and hearing from your listeners how they feel about the topic that we're going to discuss today. Thank you.
Well, it's such an interesting and important topic, because what's the point of going into business and trying to build a business that's going to give you the life that you want if you have not mastered the money mindset? And so this is the thing. This is the reason why businesses don't survive. Most of them don't survive beyond the first 2 or 3 years. Because we haven't dealt with these money issues. So you're the expert. I can't wait to hear all about your wealth strategies and how you do this for your clients. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started doing this, and what's your background?
Well, I am a first-generation immigrant from Lithuania in the United States. I started working as a minimum wage florist assistant, pretty much with, you can say, ground zero. And then I made my way to being a consultant on Wall Street for Wall Street companies, and then eventually became an executive for major Wall Street companies. And then at some point, I felt that I wanted to have a different life. I decided to go to business school because I felt that I wanted to have education in this country. So after I graduated from the Wharton Business School, I felt that maybe corporate America is not the ideal saving for me. Surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's when I said, what is it that I really want? I really had to ask this question myself. I had to ask this question, and the answer was freedom. I wanted to have freedom to choose what I do, where I live, who I work with, how often or how little I work, etc. So freedom became my shining star, because most people don't really want money for money, right? So for me, it was freedom that I wanted, and I knew that I had to figure out the money thing to get to this point where I can live my life on my terms, so to speak, right?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction, I think, because a lot of people, they're not real clear about what they want. They only believe that they just want more money, but it's never about the money, is it? It's always about what we think money is going to give us, and it's more about the freedom. If you really get down to the foundation of it, and I think that's why so many people choose a business as opposed to a corporate life, because they believe the business is going to give them the money that's going to give them the freedom. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's at least the vision that I think a lot of people have in mind when they start a business, isn't it?
I agree with you. And I like that you point out that it's not always the case. A lot of people basically create a job for themselves, right?
Yes.
So, and that's why what I teach incorporates different aspects so that whether you have a business or even when you work for a corporation, you know what you need to do to get to the point when you have more freedom in your life. I like to refer to money as a choice multiplier. So that's what it's all about, to have more choices in life. So anyway, so I regressed a little bit. So I decided to start my own company. And as it always happens in life, at the same time, things started shifting. Like, my marriage fell apart. My health was in a compromised state, and I decided to start a new business. So it was a very challenging time, and the beginning was really rough. I had business partners, and then it happened around 2008. Market crashed. Our investments in properties values dropped significantly, and my business partners wanted to have money back. So I became severely depressed and scared and lost and felt broken and like a major failure. And that was my come to Jesus point, so to speak, right? So I had to ask for help. Being a strong and powerful woman, it was not easy for me, but things turned around when I had courage and wisdom to ask for help, and I started working with a coach, and he helped me to shift my perspective on what is important and what is possible for me and how I perceive myself and how I perceive my life. And things started shifting. So the bottom line, I restarted my business on a solid foundation, and things started to look up, and my business partners wanted to invest with me again. And I eventually developed a quite successful investment company, and I felt that this is something that many women who may be going through similar circumstances as I went through would benefit from. So I started with writing a couple of books and publishing them. And then I felt that, people read books, but they don't take action. So I said, I want to become a mentor. So I will make them see the power in themselves. You see, that was my motivation. Like, I felt that there is something missing in just publishing books.
Yeah, so it's more for you then, and I think this is something that is becoming more and more true, especially with all the coaches that I work with, and in my own coaching. It's not as much about information or education anymore. It's about transformation.
Exactly. Because a lot of people know what to do, but for whatever reasons, there are always reasons why they don't, even though they know why they don't act on the knowledge that they have, right?
Yeah. So you cracked the code to figure out how to do this for yourself, and then you began to work with other people. Tell us a little bit more about what exactly you do with them, and who do you help? Who is your ideal client?
Well, I chose to work with women simply because I went through this journey. Like, I knew how it feels to be alone, to be when you don't feel that you're worthy, when you don't feel that you're capable. So I chose to work with women, ambitious women who also are free-spirited. So women who maybe need a little bit of tweak, a little bit of help to see what is possible for them, because sometimes even powerful women, even ambitious women, sometimes they get discouraged by the experiences that they go through, and they need a little help, just like I needed help at the right time, in the right, from the right person.
Sure.
So that's who I work with. Again, ambitious, driven, passionate women who want to live life on their terms, who are free-spirited individuals.
I talk with a lot of coaches who specifically work with women. Usually they're women and they're working with women. Do you think that there are unique challenges with women with respect to wealth building that are different than men? Do men look at money and react and respond to money differently than women? What do you think?
I think so. I think it's an accurate statement. I believe that for women, the impact is very important. To make a difference in the world is probably more important than for men. For women, the issue that I see among many women is a self-worth. Some women, for whatever reason, are bringing, conditioning in the family, at school. Many women don't feel that they're worthy of wealth. And that's, I believe doesn't happen very often among men. So, and that's why I also see that women invest differently. For women, it's important to support the causes that they believe in, that they appreciate, social causes, etc. For men, men mostly are driven, for the most part. I'm not trying to generalize, but for the most part, men are driven by profits. To a large extent, and women to a large extent are driven by impact that they can create in the world by making a difference, including investing.
And that makes a lot of sense. And because as a coach, as a consultant, as a mentor, it's important not to treat everyone the same. Everyone defines success differently, but I really like what you had to say about the differences that how women look at wealth and financial impact, as opposed to men who are looking at profits and success and more of a numerical or providing.
And as well as power. Like for men,
yes.
money, financial success represents power. For most women, financial success represents making a difference, making a positive difference in the world.
I love that. So that definitely affects how you would approach someone. And that really leads into my next question is with the women that you work with, and you're very experienced at doing this and creating these transformations. What's the biggest problem you see with the women who come to you for help?
There are a few problems, but if I had to choose one, it's probably because many women don't believe that it's possible for them. They don't believe that it's possible to create the life that they want, to create the financial independence in their lives. They only, many of them focus on what is right now for them, what is the reality right now. And they don't, they don't really focus on what they can create, what they want, what their dream life look like, and so that they could start making adjustments in their choices and in the way they make decisions, so they could start preparing this pathway to the life that they want to have. Many of them not clear exactly what they want, and some of them just don't believe that even if they know what they want, they don't believe it's possible.
Wow. And so a common thread here within your response is belief. In psychology, we call it self-efficacy. It's the belief that you have the ability or the wherewithal or whatever it is that you think that you have to be able to do it. And if you don't believe you can do it, then even if you do have the best mentoring and the best coaching in the world, you won't carry it out because you don't believe that you can. How do you solve that? How can someone begin to create some shifts and at least begin moving in the right direction to overcome this belief barrier?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people feel that you have to believe in order to take action. And in my personal experience, and I see in experiences of my clients, sometimes you actually take action in spite of not believing. Because the main cause of not achieving what you want when you don't believe it's possible, because you don't take action. Because when you don't believe it's possible, why even bother, right?
Right.
But in my case, I did not at the beginning believe that it was possible for me to be financially independent. For God's sake, I was deeply depressed. I was almost suicidal, and I didn't have any objective reasons to believe that it would be possible. And yet I was taking baby steps and baby steps and baby steps. And then, at some point, I saw that, maybe there is a chance for me to see that. So what I'm saying is that I didn't wait for my beliefs to catch up. But you brought up a very important question. How could people actually achieve if they know what they want? What could they do? How could they make it happen in their lives? And for that, I use in my work, I use what I call now the Millen-aire Method, which has like 4 dimensions, right? It's a system for creating holistic, lasting wealth, not just like quick wealth overnight, right? So it's a system and a process.
Absolutely, and I want to make clear because this name is so cool. And by the way, I got to say, I don't want to get off track, but your branding is excellent. Your website, your visual presentation, everything is top quality. So if nothing else, our listeners can go to your website and see what a professional image and personal brand looks like. Very impressive. And part of that is the branding of your program. And it's a play on your first name, Millen. And so it's the Millen-aire Method. Yes. I love that. You get an A+ in that. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you said there's 4 parts to that. Would you like to share with us those 4 parts?
Sure. And I just want to say that this method is not something hypothetical. I mean, I only included what worked for me and what works for my clients. That's why these dimensions are there. So the first one is developing wealth mindset, because you can either be wealth amplifier or you can be wealth consumer. So developing wealth mindset is when you work on your old money stories, on your old money habits, and you replace them with the money habits and beliefs of the wealth amplifier versus wealth consumer. So that's number 1. Number 2 is what I call become financially savvy, managing money intentionally, because a lot of people, even those who make good money, like we talked about creating businesses, they work hard in their businesses to make more money, but then they don't make time to manage their money. And so it's like, they're running this wheel, make more, right?
And it goes out faster than it comes in.
Exactly. And, as you know, it's not how much you make, it's what you do with what you make, right? So that's why the second dimension in my method is managing money intentionally, become a savvy manager of your money. So that's second dimension. The third one is investing strategically, because how do you, it's not enough to meditate and develop better beliefs about money, but you actually should, when you have money, you should do something to grow it, so money eventually will start working for you. So it's not always you work for money. So that's the idea of strategic investing, when you invest in a way so that money work for you. So that's and in my programs, I have a couple of programs where I teach how to invest strategically in stock market, how to invest strategically in real estate market. So again, everything that I teach is because I've done it myself. I walked the path myself, and I created amazing results, and I'm financially independent, and I wish this for all my clients. So that was number 3. And the last one, which I added the latest, I guess, last dimension, is practical spirituality, because we all are very powerful beings, right? So physical existence is just one aspect of who we are. And being aware of this power within and being able to connect to this power within, it's a very, very important aspect of creating the life you want. And I had to learn this, like I said, the hard way. And when I realized that that was the missing piece for me, I became a yoga instructor, meditation instructor. I believe, I studied NLP. I believe that there's so much potential in every being that maybe they didn't tap into yet. And tapping into this infinite potential that we all have will help you to not only shift perspectives of who you are, but also what is possible for you. So that's why I think it's so important.
I love that. And I really like how practical spirituality is a center or a module within your approach, but it's not the first thing. Where I think a lot of people approach it as, let me just sit in a corner and meditate and manifest my next $1 million. And then I'll figure out a wealth mindset. Then I'll figure out how to manage it, and I'll figure out how to invest it. And so they sit in the corner and they chant and they meditate, and nothing ever manifests. What I really like about your approach is, let's take some practical steps first, and let's bring the spiritual into it. But you don't have to get your beliefs aligned before you begin taking action. And the success is in the journey. It's in the process. And as you begin to take the right actions and you begin to grow in your confidence, then your beliefs will become aligned. And so I really like the order in which you present your transformation. It's very important and very different from what is typically talked about on the internet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to tell you, I'm very pragmatic and very practical person. So I use everything that I learned and basically marry this with how we can apply this in our lives, so we could create the life that we want to have, want to live.
Excellent. And that's what we're all about as entrepreneurs, rebelpreneurs, building the business we need so we can live the life we want. And so money is such a big part of that. You've got a free resource that you want to offer our listeners. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I do. It's actually a wealth planner. It's a wealth planner that your listeners could download if they go to daretochange.life.com, D-A-R-E, daretochange.life.com. And there is a button that they could click on, and Wealth Planner will be on their way to their inbox. And it's a very useful planner that has like everything I do, some practical aspects and also some more spiritual. So it's a very holistic approach to start creating the wealth. So they will have the life that they want.
Excellent. Well, and I encourage our listeners to go check that out. We'll have the link on our website, of course. But if you're listening, you can go to Dare to Change Life, and that's L-I-F-E, daretochange.life.com, and get that free wealth planner. And also check out the branding on this site. I'm so impressed that whenever someone's message lines up with their visual, their voice, their vibe and their value. Those are the 4 V's of personal branding that I work with people on. And you have nailed all 4. I got to tell you, hats off to you for a job well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Ralph.
Well, this has been a real pleasure, and it's also been a learning experience to think about our money in a different way and to really be able to make some dramatic shifts in how we approach money and wealth building and the purpose of our business. I have been speaking with Millen Livis. She is a financial empowerment mentor, an investor, an entrepreneur, and author of 2 best-selling books, a former Wall Street executive, and creator of the Millen-aire Method. You can find out more about her and about her programs and all the stuff that she has to offer at daretochange.life.com. Millen, it's been a real pleasure to get to know you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us on Rebelpreneur Radio. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Ralph.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.